Hi guys, it's Mark from anypond.com. Today's question is from Gaz, and it's about my personal opinion about bog filtration or vegetable filtration. Well, bog or vegetable filtration or even wetland filtration, I call it wetland filtration as in a case of the water percolates up through the roots. Some people call it bog filtration, but it's always really good to have an upflow bog vegetable filter or wetland. I'm just going to refer it to as a wetland filter because that's my personal preference. It's basically a constructed wetland filter. Now these constructed wetland filters must be able to be drained, and how they work is the water percolates up through aqua blocks or up through an area, and it's not through pipes. If you imagine a small pipe with a series of holes in, then you can't really drain that, because what happens is it's a case of the water comes in and it basically blocks up. It's very, very easy. So what you need is you need a void, so the water comes in and then the end of the hose pipe stops and then it fills a void underneath the gravel and the plant roots. So that's the best type of vegetable bog or wetland filtration. So it's basically water can come up anywhere underneath the plant roots and the gravel. So bog filtration, vegetable filtration, as long as the water percolates up through anywhere. If you've got a very small matrix of pipes or stuff like that, make sure that the holes are big enough for adequate circulation and it doesn't impede where they're going. There are a number of things that you can get on the market, mesh grids and stuff like that. That's what I would always use, is a hose pipe going in and then a mesh grid so the water can percolate up through, and then also a port down the other end that you can actually suck out or clean out the vegetable filter. So then when you're cleaning it out, it's not the same area as where water's being pumped in. So if you imagine one long pipe, if you've got water coming in this end and you suck it out from this end, you're only cleaning the pipe, you're not cleaning the filter. But if it's a void and there's a grid underneath, then what you're doing is you're turning the pump on from the pond and you're actually washing underneath, whether it's aqua blocks or whether it's an area of water. And what happens is that settles and it slows down the flow of water, and that's the crucial thing in wetland filtration, is to slow down the water so then sediments can settle out and then the plant roots and everything can take up the nutrients. What I would do is I would put a mechanical filter on the front end. So for instance, let's say you'd have a pond skimmer, or you'd have a pump in the bottom of the pond, and then you'd have a pressurized system or something to remove bits, because the last thing you want is a lot of big bits. Fish waste, not a problem. But certainly, some form of mechanical filtration, whether it's, my personal preference, an intake bay or a decent pond skimmer that can collect a lot of waste, that's how I would go. And I wouldn't just necessarily have a pump feeding a wetland unless it was a very small system and there wasn't that much waste in there. Certainly it's a case of pumps on the bottom of ponds or on shelves. They're great, but they're not ideal. So my name's Mark, the Pond Advisor, and I'm here to support you dream, plan and enjoy your next water feature. And thanks, Gaz, for the question. I hope this helps.